Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So I get my inspiration from all over. Where do you get yours from? I sometimes like to go onto Instagram or onto Pinterest, or I even look at fashion magazines and maybe sort of choose colors that are out. I get my inspiration from everywhere. But for this particular project, I happened to be on Instagram one day and I was kind of scrolling through and I saw this pair of earrings and I was kind of like, oh my gosh, those are so fun and cute. So these are made by a lovely designer just outside of the Seattle area, and her name is Danielle Wicks, and her site on Instagram is Danielle Wicks Jewelry, and I'll make sure to put a link below. And Danielle has beautiful boho kind of jewelry, and it's very lovely made, and oh my gosh, her color combinations are fabulous. They're bright and fun and cheerful, and I just love her style. So I asked her if I could teach these earrings on one of my YouTube tutorials, and she graciously said yes, which was so lovely of her. So I really want to thank Danielle for allowing me to teach her design. They're super cute. I think you guys are really going to love these. I'm not a seed beater, but I'm going to fake it for a couple minutes. So come and join me, and I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful earrings. Okay, so let's get started. So today, to make this pair of earrings, I'm going to be using some Fireline, and I have the crystal in the 6 pound, and I'm going to be using about 2 feet or so. I also have a size 10 pony beading needle. You can use whatever kind of beading needles you're comfortable with. This is the kind that I like. I also have an ear wire and one of the hammer tone tiara cast rings. I'm also using some daggers, and I will make sure to put the size below because I'm not exactly sure what size that is. I've got some size 11 Miyuki seed beads and some size 8 Miyuki seed beads. I also have a pair of cutters and a pair of pliers. So let's get started. So now the hardest part of this whole project for me is getting this needle threaded. So I like to just take my pliers and kind of smush down the ends, smush being a technical term. And I want to flatten that out, and then that makes it just a little bit easier to get through your needle. Okay, so I had to go off camera to try and get closer because with these glasses I can't see a darn thing. So now I've got that through, and I'm just going to pull out some of the Fireline. Now I should give you a warning that I am not a seed beater. I am self-taught when it comes to seed beating, and I kind of just do my own thing. But one of the things I have been told is to not bring out too much of a tail because it'll just wrap its way around there. So if you are a seed beater and I'm doing something wrong, I apologize. I just kind of figure things out as I go along. So if you know a different way of doing this, then feel free. So I'm going to just run my Fireline through the ring, and I'm going to leave about 3 or 4 inches. Get that out of the way there. And then I'm just going to wrap. I'm just going to do like a little knot here. That's what I'm going to do. There we go. I've got a knot, and then now I'm going to do a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to go through once and then bring it back through again. So I've got twice, and then give it a nice pull. So you don't want to cut this off the end. You're just going to leave that dangle off the side. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here today is called the brick stitch. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up 2 of my 8s and let them drop down on top of the little ring there. Okay, so I've got them like that. So now I'm going to come through the back side of my ring, and then I'm going to be going through just the top one there like that. So I come through the top, and then I sort of flip it up like that. And I know I'm covering it with my fingers, but if I don't, then they tend to bounce all over the place. So now you can see that they're sort of seated on top of that ring, but this one's a little goofy looking. So I have to then take my needle and come back through that one. So I'm going down, and then I'm going to come back up through this one, and then when I give that a nice pull, it'll seat themselves up on top there. So I'm going to do that a total of 8 times. So I'm going to take my next one and drop it down on top there, and I find that if I drop it up there, that's the easiest way for me to remember which direction I'm going to be going in. So now I'm going to come through the back side, and then I'm going to go through the top of just that single one that I just added. So come through the top, and then it sort of flips over, and then pull this through. Now you can see when I'm pulling that down, it just seats itself in there. And then I'm going to come in and give it a little pull and get that nice and taut. And grab another one. And I do find it easier if I actually go through this step of putting it on the top there like that. I'll come in through the top, and then it flips it over. And then you can see, there, we pull it down. So these are nice little iris beads, so they kind of are different colors, which I quite like. It goes nicely with our daggers. So seat that on top there, come through the back. Always remember to come through the back so that it wraps it around the ring. And then give that a little pull. So you can see I've already got 5 on there. These earrings just take no time at all, and I do find them a little addictive. I made a pair and then I was like, oh, I love these. These are really, really fun. Now again, I am not a seed beader. I don't know that I was actually given enough patience to seed bead. I do like to play around with it myself, just making my own things, but I'm not really much for teaching it. I do have a girl in the store who likes to teach them, but I don't know. I just find it's hard to teach bead weaving, but this is a simple one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So I'm going to do my final one. So seat that on the top, come through the back, and then go through the top of the one that you just put in. And then you can see now that I've got all 8 of them nicely seated across the top there. So now I'm going to do my second layer. So to start with, I'm going to take 1 11, one of my daggers, and another 11. So now you can see here that there's little bridges of fire line. So I've got a first bridge and a second bridge. I want to come to the second bridge, not the first one. So I'm going to come behind on the second bridge there. And you can see how that just seats itself nicely in there. So now what I want to do is come back up through this size 11. So you want to make sure that you're not going back through that bridge. You want to stay on this side of the bridge so that when I go up through the 11, it won't pop off. So that just kind of helps seat it nice. So when I pull this down, you can see how that will just sort of seat itself in there. So now I'm going to just take my next dagger. I don't need a seed bead on this side because there's already one right there. So I've got a dagger and then an 11, and then I'm going to come through this bridge, the one next door there, and then just kind of seat that in and pull nice and tight, and then I'm going to come back up through the 11, and that's when you're going to be able to get that in there nice and secure. So your dagger and your seed bead, and come in through this bridge right here, and then back up through that first 11 here that we've got, or I guess it's actually the last 11. Come up through there, and then through that next bridge. And this is one of the reasons I get frustrated with bead weaving, because it always seems to get tangled up. But there we go. Now back up through the 11. So what's the weather like in your neck of the woods? I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, and normally we have tulips and we're wearing shorts and everything by now. Yeah, we've had nothing but a whole pile of snow. It's been insane. There was one of my staff members got a foot of snow yesterday where she lives, because she's up sort of a bit of a mountain, and it's just nuts. Like, okay, we need spring. All right, so now I'm going to go through that next bridge there. And be careful you don't get knots like I'm getting right there. And you just kind of pull through, and we'll get lucky on that one. Okay, so seat that in there. I'm going to come back up through the 11. And then my last one. See how fast these come together? And when I'm not trying to explain things, it goes really fast. And so now I've got our last little bridge there. I'm going to go through that. And you'll notice that that one has double threads coming out of it because that's where we secured it at the beginning. So get that seated in there. Come back up through the last 11 there. And pull that down. So I like to get that in there nice and secure. So now to make it a little bit more secure, I'm going to come back through my dagger. I'm going to go back down through my 11 that's next to that dagger there. And then I'm going to go back down through my second to last 8. Now I'm just going to take the needle off. And I'm just going to tie a knot there. Now again, because I'm not a real seed beater, I just kind of make things up as I go along, but to me this seemed like a logical way to end it. So I'm going to just take my first knot and tie it nice and tight there. And you won't even be able to see these because they kind of hide underneath everything. So I'm going to tie that nice and tight, and then I'm going to do a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to go through once, and then twice, and then pull that really tight. Now I'm just going to trim off my ends there. And then now I'm going to put on my ear wire. So I'm just going to open that up, attach that, and close that up. So I'm going to show you a few more pairs that I've made here. All right, so there you go. There we've got our completed pair. I love these earrings, and I want to thank Danielle Wicks again for letting me teach her tutorial. I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram, and I saw these, and I asked her if I could teach them, and she said yes. And I thought that was really gracious of her because not very many people let you do that. So make sure to pop over to Danielle Wicks Jewelry on Instagram, and I'll make sure to put a link below for her site. I will have these in kit form. I'll have these 3 different ones. I love this little color that I just did. This is gorgeous with this sort of purple, blue, gold peacock. And then I've got some gold iridescent beads up here. And then of course we've got to have my blue and my browns because you know that's how I roll. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give me a like, please subscribe to my channel, and make sure to leave me a comment. Tell me where you get your inspiration from. I get mine from all over the place, but I'd love to hear where you get yours from. So I want to thank you very much for watching. Make sure to pop by, say hi to Danielle, and we'll see you on the next one.